Genetic profiling involves cutting the DNA into short pieces and then separating them into bands. Human DNA is very long and is made of around 3 billion base pairs. So, using enzymes, the DNA is biologically cut into smaller sections, making it easier to analyze, but also where the cuts take place is also important. If you have two DNA samples that are the same, then these enzymes will cut fragments into similar lengths and in similar locations. If the two DNA samples are different from each other, then the enzymes will cut the fragments into different lengths and in different places. Therefore, when the now cut DNA is placed into a gel and an electrical field is applied to the gel, the DNA fragments will then move across the gel at different distances depending on their length. Smaller sections of DNA move faster and therefore further across the gel. This pattern can then be compared to see if they match or not. This method is useful when you need to compare two DNA samples. For example, in criminal cases, where the DNA found at the scene of the crime could match one of the suspects and help to build a criminal conviction against them. In paternity cases where the biological parents need to discover if the child is theirs or not, often only parts of the DNA will match in this case, but would normally appear as a combination of both biological mother and father. It can even be used to help classify species by determining if two individual organisms are genetically different enough to be classified as two separate species or not. This has happened in killer whales, for example, where they have spread across the globe, and genetic profiling has helped to show that different populations of killer whales are genetically different enough to be classified as separate species. There are even medical benefits to genetic profiling, where certain genes can be identified as being associated with a particular disease. This means doctors can make more informed health interventions based on the patient's genetic profile. However, there are ethical issues associated with genetic profiling, as many people are having their genetic profile made, and that private medical data is being given to the company that performed the analysis. Issues arise as to whether these companies may then share their customer data with others. For example, an issue could arise where people who have had their genetics profiled are having to pay more for medical insurance because the medical insurance company has obtained their genetic profile data and can charge more for insurance because they feel that they may have a higher risk of suffering certain diseases based on the profile that they have.